I always watch these shows because it excites me. You got this tag of being a businessman because you're an actor, and somebody else works with you, for you, and you get the credit for it. So I'm very aware of these things. But what excited me was the investors, the tycoons. They were people who were as good as probably the founders were, and that's why they connected. And this show is all about connection.
With the invent of AI and generative AI, I think IQ is sort of taken a little bit of, or rather rote learning has taken a little bit of a backseat. And there are times where emotional intelligence is extremely important.
We need to get them to understand where investors will put in money, when I can use them, should I come too early, should I come late, am I diluting too early. All this education will come from this University of Entrepreneurship education. There is no true syllabus existing.
So for me, I feel both for the founder and for us, it's like a great learning to be on this show, and there's no other better way for a founder investor to go and test their skill out.
I'm very excited by this series. So excited that for this interview I landed up 1 hour in advance. This promises to change the game as far as business shows on the OTT platforms are concerned. Bharat Ke Super Founders is streaming now on MX Player. Please go watch it. You will not only take away a lot of life lessons, business lessons, but also take away the brilliance of these prospective startup founders and these amazing investors. From me, Hrishi K, everybody who's watching, listening, please welcome Sunil Shetty. Wonderful to see you, Anna.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. Yeah?
Happy New Year to you too.
And the Talaivar, Dr. Velumani.
Thank you.
There's a Talaivar in cinema, which is Rajni sir, and there's a Talaivar in entrepreneurship,
Absolutely.
which is Dr. Velumani.
Absolutely.
How are you, sir? Yeah?
Thank you, Vishu.
And
Happy 2026.
And I'd like to welcome the young Turks, if I can call them that. Aditya, how are you?
All good.
I love what you're wearing.
Thanks.
You know, you get full marks for the fash. Yeah. And Aarti, so nice to see you.
Lovely to see you as well.
And what's the beauty is,
Yeah,
Aditya pushes only Desi brands.
lovely.
So it genuinely Bharat Ke
Make
Super
in India.
Founder.
Yeah, make
Yeah,
in
This
make
is
in
from a
India.
brand in Jaipur.
Absolutely,
Online.
which is the beauty.
Beautiful. You know, you've built businesses yourself, Sunil sir. When founders pitched on the show, what did you instinctively listen for? The idea, the numbers, or the person?
I think the person over presentation. For me, it's always been person over presentation. But the beauty is that for the first time, I always watch these shows because it excites me. You got this tag of being a businessman because you're an actor, and somebody else works with you, for you, and you get the credit for it. So I'm very aware of these things. But what excited me was the investors, the tycoons. They were people who were as good as probably the founders were, and that's why they connected. And this show is all about connection. When we talk about Bharat Ke Super Founders, the intent is to create founders from the smallest of places in this country. And that's why I say this is a show with a heart that has taught me so much, and I'm so excited about it because I see the genuine growth of founders from here. And like this, we honestly need another 100 shows that can do justice for the talent that exists in this very country.
You know, there's something that needs to be said. I was watching an interview of a founder the other day who said during the pandemic, no investors were willing to back him. He had to go to the market. And that kind of helped him survive and tide through that crisis. This is the first show of its kind where the one who's pitching has the option not only to come to the investors but also the market. I'd like you to talk about that.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this show. I mean, it's not a typical show where you have a founder who comes in, pitches, you have the investors who probably at times run them down, ridicule them, and shake their confidence. This show is about giving confidence to those kids. Sometimes you are wrong, you might not get your investment, but they will also correct you. So when you go back, you're very clear about the mistakes that you've made and how to take that journey forward henceforth. And so if I say, either way, it could be either, if the tycoons are the heart of the show, the market is the soul of the show, or vice versa. And that's the beauty. Because even the investors are very aware throughout, ki, what is the market going to say? Is the market going to play? Can we play together? So 90% of the time, I think our success ratio is 90% of the time, the kids have gone back, kids in the sense, sorry, the founders have gone back with definite investment, and not just investment. They are holding hands in that journey to the end user. So that kind of support you would never see anywhere. And that is what this show promises, that we will be a part of your journey. As long as you're building to build for the country, build for your own future, and not to exit in the next few years. You know, it shouldn't be an exit plan for you. Okay, I'll make money and I'll get out. No, you will make a difference. And that is what Bharat Ke Super Founders is all about.
You know, Velumani sir, one thing I've tried to learn from people like yourself and Sunil Anna is the value of discipline. You keep telling me each time you meet me, don't eat for your tongue. Think mentally when you're satiated, half a meal over, and you see his discipline. I find startup founders are only talking about vision. Are current startup founders underestimating discipline, is my question to you.
Correct. Generation itself is least interested in discipline. They believe performance matters more. Discipline is not that essential. But performance with discipline gets you amplified success. This is what many don't realize. So like how he said kids and he corrected it. There is no correction needed. There were a few of them less than 20 years of age, which means they were kids also. They already got onto a platform to move ahead. Overall, it was such a powerful show. The tycoons, majority of the time, all invested.
Yeah.
And a few cases, all rejected. And of course, depending upon the taste, some have taken up a few, some did not. But overall, what I saw, the guy who comes to pitch, what he pitches, how confidently he talks, how much he has understood his own business, how much distance he is visualizing, and what is that he is expecting. Plenty of them more looking for mentorship than for funds. So I think overall this show has been an education for all the tycoons also. At the same time, गांव से भी आए हैं बहुत सारे लोग. That's very, very motivating, because I believe true talents are not just in city, they are in true villages. And people from village analyze challenges from a different viewpoint. So we believe this country with a 1.5 billion population does need 1.5 million entrepreneurs. So he said 100 shows. I must tell you, hundreds of shows are essential. We need to get them to understand where investors will put in money, where I can use them, when I can use them. Should I come too early? Should I come late? Am I diluting too early? All this education will come from this University of Entrepreneurship education. There is no true syllabus existing. So I believe we all, on our age, such shows were not possible. We learnt it by ourselves, falling, rising. Today, they have an opportunity to understand what not to do. To do, there are infinite things, but what not to do, there are only a dozen, which we believe. In fact, I was quite critical on them, not to hurt them, to tell them not to spread too thin, be focused, be disciplined, get to the core of the business and focus there. So I believe this education is essential. And when I talk to these people who are pitching, I see in my eyes hundreds who are sitting and watching, and I believe all of them will understand this probably is the way to go ahead. Since I have experience, wisdom. Since I talk my walk, people are likely to take it little more seriously is my view. Overall, I believe this is the beginning, and maybe for another 10 years, this activity has to be done. We also will learn, the presentation of theirs also will improve. I believe in another 2-3 years, this show will have a much bigger audience.
Aarti, if you ask Sunil Anna, he'll say automatically that Mana ma'am has more emotional intelligence than him. I'll say that about my wife. Velu sir will say that about his late wife. How important is emotional intelligence in entrepreneurship is my question to you.
I think emotional intelligence in anything is extremely important, right? Like with the invent of AI and generative AI, I think IQ is sort of taken a little bit of, or rather rote learning is taken a little bit of a backseat. And there are times where emotional intelligence is extremely important because it helps you sort of identify the problem as well, right? Like if you're not in sync with what is the real problem, if you're not emotionally connected to solving the problem, you will never be able to invest as an investor. So personally as an investor, I'm actually quite proud of the EQ which I bring to the equation as well, right? And the show today, Bharat Ke Super Founders, has sort of, I feel, democratized investing. The question which you asked about the marketplace also earlier, it's important for a founder and everybody who's seeing this show to realize that not every investor is the right investor for you.
True.
There needs to be a connect also, not just capital and not just smart capital, but an emotionally connected capital also. As an investor, do I even connect with the problem you're trying to solve? And only then I'm in it with you for the long haul. So the show does a fantastic job of that because it gives you a panel of tycoons, but it also gives you the option to a larger marketplace, right, where you can go and seek funding from there as well. So very, very important and an extremely brilliant idea to sort of bring more investors into this ecosystem, right? Because like we all know, talent की कमी नहीं है, entrepreneurship करने की भी का हिम्मत भी है, but we don't have that kind of capital to back these founders today. And the more people who get into this, the sooner and faster India will grow today.
Aditya, for somebody like a Sunil Anna, closed door pitches versus a pitch on television would be too different because performing is now second skin to him. He's done it for so many years. The problem that somebody like you who's newer to the whole ecosystem will face is, how do I evaluate this guy, this founder, on a television pitch versus a closed door pitch? So that must have been a bit of a twist for you because you've always had closed door pitches.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No. And see, when you have closed door pitches, I have 3 meetings, 4 meetings, maybe like a month to decide, right? Here you have to decide there and then. And if I say no, Velumini sir can say yes. The market is there. If I say, they can say no, you don't understand this market, I'll invest. So the raw energy at that point of time is very good, and it actually makes you think sharper and faster, not only for us, but for the founders. The founder also there, for them also the pitch is very, if they are in closed doors, they are comfortable, right? Here they have a lot of pressure, and in that pressure they are defending their idea. That itself teaches the founders a lot. So for me, I feel both for the founder and for us, it's like a great learning to be on this show, and there's no other better way for a founder investor to go and test their skill out here.
You know, from a founder's perspective, Sunil Anna, you've got to be encouraging, but at the same time, if they fall out of line, you've got to give them that reality check. How does one balance as a mentor encouragement versus reality check?
See, fortunately in this show, I've understood one thing. The team that was there at the back end made sure that they really did their research on the founders. The due diligence was done, and the right kind of founders came on board. At times, expectations may be different, but because of the kind of tycoons that were there, see, each one has a personality, and that's the beauty of this show. They're not trying to outdo each other. They're very encouraging from a perspective of wanting to be a part of the founder's journey, but each one giving their expertise to it. Like Velumani sir was very clear that he would come in at a time and probably, I won't say expose, but yes, would expose the weakness that exists in that founder or the product. Whereby a founder, if he dropped his ego, would understand it better than he ever would in his life. There were at the same time a lot of the others who are masters of their business and see potential in that. So it was a combined effort, after which the market was always available, even from a debt perspective, that we are with you, and we are not talking debt and fixed interest, but probably a turnover, a percentage of that turnover. So it was a beautiful combination. For me, it was an absolute learning. These 6 days were probably the best 6 days of my life when it comes from an entrepreneurship perspective. See, as actors, we've always invested in real estate and seen success because it's grown on its own and stuff like that. We've never, every time we tried to do something of our own, I failed 100 times. And every time I believed this business would work, my belief was that it would work, but it didn't work other than that. Other than eyeballs, it never converted into real money. After this entire startup ecosystem started, that is post-pandemic, is where you got opportunities. And here now, because of these founders, my takeaway, I think, because of these tycoons, I think I go back as a founder, having found myself and what I need to do and how I need to take care of business and who do I need with me in the business. Sometimes it is one founder or one investor, or more than one investor, who would eventually help a brand and a founder grow.
Somebody comes to you, Velumani sir, with a great idea, but you instinctively feel that he or she is not execution ready. Do you keep investing in that person, saying this idea will bear fruit, or do you immediately say, not execution ready, sorry, can't go forward?
Actually, very often entrepreneurs think this idea will work.
Yeah, because
But
it's all in the
it is
idea.
in his eyes. In my eyes, it may not work. But if I am asked, I will tell, refine it, tune it, change it. But having said that, what do you do is not as important as how do you do it. So I don't criticize ideas. Everything is possible for them to execute. What's great about this show, when I look at it, and eldest and the tycoons was me only. I looked at all these other tycoons, looked at short term, 5-year, 10-year horizon. I looked at a 25-year-old organization reaching to an IPO with its own leisure. I call them as 100-meter dash and marathon race. So I look at from that angle and I keep advising them. But what I observe is, there was no Naukri.com in 1980s.
True.
Jobs were there, unemployed were there. There was not even matrimonial columns, matrimonial portals those days. I believe lot of investors are there. They don't know where to invest, and they are investing only in land and gold. This culture should change. This is not a culture which will create prosperity for the country. It could give personal security for the family. So we believe the ideas are somewhere, money is somewhere. What we are trying to bring in is both of them to see there is an opportunity and then to do the things. So in my opinion, every idea has a chance to succeed as long as it solves the unmet needs and the undermet needs of the society. Full stop. And infinite is the needs. So everybody's idea will work. If it doesn't work, rework, make mistakes, make very fast, learn, and don't repeat the mistake. I always keep telling in my punchlines, it's not that somebody learns everything and get into business. Nikal pado, rasta apne aap banta hai.
Nice.
And make mistakes, make all mistakes, make them very fast, don't repeat. Learn fast, learn fast, you are in the fast track.
Aarti, because the show, like Sunil and I said, is Bharat. It's small town India. Women entrepreneurs in small town India, are you seeing a shift when they've come and pitched?
Not just women
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship in general. So I'm from Kanpur, I live in Kanpur, and I think the real problem solving entrepreneurs are from tier 2, tier 3 cities. A lot of entrepreneurs who've built big businesses today in India are originally not from metros. They have moved to metros because the ecosystem has existed in the metros, right? So talent is throughout the country, whether it is from a zilla close to Kanpur or whether it is like, in Jaipur, in Gwalior, in, Coimbatore. We've seen some excellent pitches from remote parts of India. So talent is in Pura Bharat. The thing is, can we create an enabling ecosystem for the entire Bharat? Today that ecosystem exists only in your Bangalore, Delhi, Bombay and maybe 1 or 2 cities more. Can we create this ecosystem so that a founder does not have to move out of these tier 2, tier 3 cities and come into Bharat? Women entrepreneurs, there's been a massive shift in the way it's looked at also, right? I have to share a story. I just recently had someone from my company, recently married, and she wants to quit her job because she wants to start a startup, right?
Oh, cool.
Earlier, we used to think if women will get married and they might quit job because they want to start a family, but she's quitting because she wants to start a startup. So this is the change which we are seeing. However, there is a mismatch with funding for women entrepreneurs also, which I want to highlight, right? This is a gap which we need to sort of fulfill if we really want to see India grow, because like we say, Bharat ek pankh pe to sone ki chidiya ud nahi sakti, right?
Correct.
We need both the wings of the country, both men and women, to prosper, to actually reach where we want to reach.
I have time only for one last question, and that's to you, Aditya. For all those young prospective entrepreneurs out there who are dreaming of VC funding, what's the one thing they've got to fix before approaching an investor?
In my opinion, they need to first fix the ability to sell. You're always selling. You're selling your product, you're selling your company to the investor, or you're selling your company to your employee. The better you sell, the better chances you have of succeeding, I feel. Great ideas, great execution is great, you will, I guess, do that. But this is one skill I feel that can really, I've seen it, can really help you and actually gives you the edge while you're starting out.
Bharat Ke Super Founders, streaming on Amazon MX Player. Please go watch it, give it a lot of love. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lovely.
94.3 Radio 1.